So this has been an incredible week for Sonic fans. Not only did we receive a loaded Sonic Central detailing tons of games, merchandise, and more to come in the future, but we also got our first episode of Shadow: Dark Beginnings. Today, I want to break down and theorize on some of the important footage and announcements that we were shown at Sonic Central, as well as the Shadow and Maria episode of Dark Beginnings. But before we get any further, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already for more Sonic news and lore. So being the comic nerd that I am, one of the most interesting things that stuck out to me during the Sonic Central was Sonic's partnership with DC starting in 2025 and going into 2026. Not only were we told that this is going to be a 5-issue run with Ian Flynn on board, but we also got a look at some of the cool designs of the Sonic cast as DC heroes. Now, DC has teamed up with multiple franchises in the past, and seeing these costumes really calls to mind their numerous encounters with the Looney Tunes. However, what makes me more excited is that this is a very similar team up to the Ninja Turtles and Batman. That crossover ended up happening 3 times and eventually led to an animated movie. Of course, this is just some speculation on my part, but with them announcing this partnership going into 2026, I think that we might have an animated movie or short coming our way, just like the TMNT Batman movie. But even if we don't end up seeing a film of this, these comics are going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see how Sonic and his friends interact with the heroes and villains of the DC universe. Moving on to Shadow Generations, I've got to say that the trailer they showed off really impressed me. This story looks a lot more fleshed out than I thought it was going to be initially. Of course, I think a huge standout of the trailer for most people was seeing Mephiles. I was sort of on the fence about his return. In the podcast I do with Ranny, which you can check out on his channel or on Spotify at the Speed of Sound podcast, I told him that I could see Mephiles returning since Kingdom Valley is a stage in the game, but I wasn't quite sold that he would return for sure.
Do you think Mephiles will have some form of an appearance in Sonic X Shadow? I mean, there's Sonic 06, right? Like, there's a Sonic 06 stage.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say the majority of me wants to say no, we're not gonna see him, but the inclusion of Kingdom Valley makes me think that he will be, possibly, at least. I don't know. I'm leaning towards no. I'm leaning towards we're not gonna see Mephiles, but Kingdom Valley's there, so it's like, he could be, because that was the big portion of Shadow's campaign, was fighting Mephiles. However, we now have 100% confirmation that he's gonna be in the game, and it's great to have him appear in another game and not just be a one-off. With that being said, we also get a look at Sunset Heights, so I have to imagine that at this point, Infinite is going to make his return as well. Despite Shadow not being in a ton of Sonic Forces, these two have quite the history with each other, which you can check out here. Something that I noticed is that this trailer opens with Maria and Gerald and ends with them, and I think that this game is really going to tug on some heartstrings. Seeing Gerald and Maria in white space, I think that Shadow is going to have to come to the hard realization that what happened in the past can't be changed. And not only that, but the past and pain that he's endured has shaped him into the hero that he is today. Shadow is most likely going to have a hard time during this game understanding that he has to let go of Maria and Gerald, and I think that Maria's going to be the one to let him know that it's okay to let go. Alright, so now we have to talk about the setup to the game itself. The first episode in the 3-part series, Shadow: Dark Beginnings. This whole thing felt like such a love letter to the fans. The animation was gorgeous and really emphasized Shadow's pain that he's still trying to deal with. We get a flashback into Shadow's memories from 50 years ago starting on the Ark. For a brief moment, we see what his friendship with Maria was like as he watched over her, her condition seemingly getting worse by the moment. After fighting a Merle, the world in front of Shadow begins to shatter as he's taken through multiple moments that caused him pain, with the execution of Gerald and the death of Maria. Shadow snaps out of this dreamlike state, calling it no mere nightmare, and pointing out that this happened in view of the Ark. I also really like the detail that the moon was still destroyed here and it has a ring formation around it from the debris, much like Saturn. Shadow stares up at the Ark and ponders if he could have survived, and I think it's clear that he means Black Doom. It's evident from this episode as well that Black Doom is up to the same old shenanigans that he always is. It seems that he wants to turn Shadow against humanity. This is why he was showing Shadow all these moments of pain that humans have caused him. Overall, this was a really strong start, and I can't wait for more. At the end of this episode, episode, Shadow states that he needs answers, so I think that we'll probably be seeing Team Dark reunite in the second episode. But that's all I have for you guys right now, so let me know down in the comments what you thought about the Sonic Central and Dark Beginnings Episode 1. Check out the video here for more Sonic news and lore, and subscribe if you want to see more. As always, I wish you all the best, take care, peace.